Coming to you from the studios of AM 950 KTNF, the progressive voice of Minnesota, this is The Gailey Show. I am your host, JP Derapagosian. We have a very special conversation for you all today. My two guests are Jennie, Garner, and Andrew Frisbie from the North Liberty Library in Iowa. And for those of you who know, we do talk a lot about public libraries and book bans and libraries as connection spaces. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about with Jennie and Andrew here today on the show. So I'm very looking forward to this conversation. And why don't we just jump right in? So Jennie and Andrew, would you like to introduce yourselves? And maybe Jennie, you'd like to go first?
Sure. Hi, I'm Jennie Garner, and I am the director at the North Liberty Library. I have been at the library for 27 years. I like to say I've been at 3 libraries, but it's really just one. We've just had 3 expansions and changes since I've been with the library, and I've worked in a lot of different roles at the library. When I started, we had 3 staff, and we are at 20 now, so we've grown in our community really, really fast. We're still pretty small, though, just over 20,000 people in our town. And I would say somebody asked me the other day, or on another podcast, what my warning label would be if I had one, and I said it would be a professional pot stirrer. So I'll just give you that.
Professional pot stirrer. I love that. And Andrew, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Andrew Frisbie. I've been here at the library for 18 years. I started in youth and teen services, so I did that for the first 10, and then the past 8, I've been the collection development librarian, so overseeing the development of the library's collection of all of our materials, digital and physical. Wow. And it's not a little known fact, because I think everyone who's talked to me for about more than 10 minutes knows I'm super into Lego. So yeah, that's a fun fact about Andrew.
Oh, I love Lego. It is a mandatory Christmas present from my partners every year. I love the being able to just sit down, no words, you know what I mean? No talking, just be able to sit down and look at, images and build, shapes. And have you seen the Rivendell set that just came out that I'm just drooling over?
Get that. So I have that one. I have not put it together yet.
I'm jealous.
I did just put together, there's a new Transformer Bumblebee that they put out. I did that over the weekend. It's pretty cool.
Oh, I love that. I think the last one I did was the Perseverance Mars rover, which was really fun. And I had a whole bunch of different pieces that I had never actually tube-like pieces. Anyway, I'm sorry. We've gone off onto a Lego tangent, and I could literally talk about Legos forever. But how we originally all connected was around book bans. And so I think I'd like to kick off our conversation right there, and how your library is responding to all of these book bans that are happening across the country.
We aren't having any issues at our library. Fingers crossed, knocking on wood. We are in a fairly progressive area, so between Iowa City and Cedar Rapids in Iowa, we're kind of in our own small world in Johnson County. So we feel fairly secure about that, but what we have done is just been very proactive. We've looked at our collection development policy to make sure it's very solid. We've looked at our public comment policy at board meetings to make sure it's very, solid, and that folks have time to speak if they need to speak, but that we're protecting ourselves as well, because we've seen across the country things like, 20 people coming to a board meeting and somebody letting one person take the whole time to, conceding their time for other people to have extra time, et cetera, et cetera. So, and what we've done most recently is our board voted to discontinue having a reconsideration form at all at our library. So if someone has a conflict or is concerned about a piece of material, that we have a form. It's a generic feedback form on our website that they are welcome to fill out, but we don't have, because we consider ourselves experts and Andrew to be the expert in collection development, we have decided that we're not going to reconsider materials.
Tell me more about that. Oh, sorry, Andrew, I interrupted you.
No, I think Jennie has always put it pretty nicely as we were discussing this option, that we don't the streets department doesn't open themselves up for public comment on what brand of salt they use or what sand they use. So why are we opening ourselves up to this sort of scrutiny?
Exactly. And I loved hearing that when we originally talked about having that process. What led to is it the realization that you didn't really need this form?
Actually, it was this amazing person. His name is Peter. He works for Every Library, which is a fantastic organization across the country that supports libraries with budgetary crises and other community crises, with helping them with exactly that, with book bans and other things, combating those things. They have a great program called Fight for the First. And Peter and I had met and we're discussing, and he brought it up and said, why is it that libraries as a public agency have this form when no other, if you think about it, nobody else has it. Nobody else says, hey, come and tell me my furniture is not comfortable, or tell me that you don't like my street signs, the way they're put up, or, whatever it is. And so why do libraries do that? We are experts in our field. We're trained to do this work. So the fact is I don't think it's necessary, and our board agreed.
And tell me more about the public comment section, how you were kind of amending that process, because that's another area where, the book banners have been, bombing these public comment sections and being really angry and yelling at people and scaring people. And so what did you all do in terms of amending that process?
We just limited it, so it's like you can have a 2-minute time to speak, and you can't concede to someone else. We do require, like, if you are going to challenge something, that you live and pay taxes in our community, not outside the community. And if we do look at a piece of material because someone has put in it for the concern, then it won't be looked at again for 10 years. A lot of libraries are going that route. They're doing 3 to 5 years, but I was like, we'll do 10. And then probably the material will just be gone because it's been weeded from the collection or discarded. But I just want to make sure that the expertise stays where it belongs. And that people have access to materials. That's the bottom line is if you don't like a piece of material, I have no issue with that. Don't read it. Don't check it out. But please don't tell someone else what they can and can't read. Exactly.
I didn't know about the putting, I don't know, a term limit might be the wrong, or a review limit on there. That is a really fantastic idea, right, as well. I love all these ideas that you all are doing there, which is why I'm glad that we're having this conversation today so that other folks in other library systems can hear what this is, because, I just had a conversation a month ago with a couple of researchers who look at K-12 schools and the bans that are going on there. And they wrote a national report. They were working, they work for PEN America. And it was wild to me how it was such a small number of people across the country that were doing this. Like, there was one school in Wisconsin that had 400 challenges from one person, and how they are organized and understand how to abuse the system. Right, and how they're manipulating the system to do what you were just saying, to block people from doing that. So I love how you all are going about this so systematically to kind of shore up the defenses of the library, but also to be like, why do we have these things for the public when it really, you all are the experts on that. Are there things that you're doing right now in terms of like packaging and telling the world about what you're doing to get the word out?
I mean, we didn't yell it out. We just did it. I mean, it's policy, and really for the most part, people don't care about our policies. They're all listed publicly on our website. People can see them. I mean, I don't think we've really done any publicity about it. Our form is really great on our website. If you look at it, it basically just says, we invite your feedback and your compliments. We love those.
Okay. I wanna talk about that or talk about that next, because supporting public libraries is so important, and finding ways for folks to do that is frontline work that we need to be doing right now. So for both of you, what is the advice maybe, or the call to action that you would give to folks about how to support their local library, and for the folks in your neighborhood, how to support North Liberty?
I feel I have a sort of running mantra that I use that, if someone would complain about a book, well, that book's not for you. Like, how about we get a book that that is for you? And I think if kind of just everyone kind of had that mindset of, hey, that book has some racy scenes in it. But you know what? It's not for me, so I'm not going to read it. And if you hear someone getting worked up about a potential ban, like, why are you concerned about this book? It's not for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think advocacy is a key, and librarians have been very active ourselves, but we haven't turned that publicly. So more libraries are doing it. We haven't done it very well yet, but we're talking about it. What does advocacy look like? I know, and I met some folks in Omaha recently. I went there to do a presentation, and they talked about, they have cards that say, love your library, here's some ways you can help. And it has a link to a website that helps. Speak out, talk and be curious, ask questions. Everybody has their own agendas or their reasons for why they're choosing to ban books. And I know some people maybe believe that they're helping others, but the fact is, it's not anybody's business what you're reading or what someone else is reading. It's a private thing. If you want to share and yell it to the world, great. But reading is a personal experience, and viewing or whatever form you're using the collection, and that's personal. And we want kids, especially, and we say this too, is we want libraries to be spaces where kids feel welcome, where everyone feels they have a place to belong, where everyone sees themselves when they look at the stacks or look through our materials, and also see what others are experiencing, because that's how we develop empathy. I mean, we develop empathy through seeing what other people are going through. And
you have a compliment form, right? So I think that folks need to also take the time to send a thank you note.
Yeah, we save those.
It takes 5 minutes to send a thank you note or a compliment to the library. And I love hearing, I mean, you say that you save those. And I think when I talk to folks, it's like when the banners come in there, the libraries, they want the compliments. They need all of that to be able to say, well, you're saying this, you're one person. We've got 50 people over here that sent us a note thanking us for what we're doing over here. And it takes 5 minutes, to do that. And so I think that's really, it's even compliments 5 minutes, and it's so important and so useful for libraries to use. And can you tell me a little bit more about seeing kids, particularly seeing themselves reflected in the library books that are present?
Sure. So we don't specifically label. We don't. There's
right.
Always sometimes a push for there to be a rainbow sticker on the book. But we have. So we are a. Our nonfiction doesn't use Dewey. We use plain language right on the label. So, cooking, baking, so that you don't need to know the Dewey or the Library of Congress number. So I just started putting LGBTQIA plus, most of it's under social science, but there's also some under family, so that it's clear, right on there, this is for you, without it being a giant rainbow flag on it. We're also super proactive at displays.
Ooh, yeah.
So having pride displays, and I even sneakily in a section of new shelves where we just have the word new listed a bunch of times. I put it in different pride flag colors. Just as it's there, and if you know, and if you don't, guess what? It's not for you to
combination
know
of colors.
Combination of colors is for. So
do you do reading lists?
We do.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them we do. What's the carols on our website? So on our collection website, Andrew will build a title list of books and themes for different months, or sometimes it's a staff picks or whatever.
Yeah, and even the subject headings that the Library of Congress gives us are not always the most progressive and are very slow to evolve and change. The going term still today is sexual minority. I hate that term, so I don't.
Wait, what? That's really the term?
Yes, sexual minority.
Wow.
So we had a staff person who years ago was like, well, I was searching for like the LGBTQ books and I couldn't find them. I was like, well, how were you searching? Well, LGBTQ. It's like, well, I never thought to look that way because I kind of did, gay teenagers, lesbian teenagers, transgender women. I had them out listed, but now they all funnel together. If you just search LGBTQIA+, they all, everything we have comes right together in one nice search.
And the big thing is we want kids to, like I said, we want kids to not only see themselves, but we want them to see others, so that they can be empathetic and understand that not everyone's just like them or lives in the same world that they live in. So it's that whole idea of windows and mirrors and sliding glass doors. Go ahead and step into that world if you'd like to. But also, I think teens are pretty, and kids in general, they're pretty astute, and they don't. Mm-hmm. Our views impact them more than if we just let them be and find their own way. I truly believe that. I mean, I spent a lot of time at the Capitol last year fighting the book banning in Iowa. We had some pretty negative bills coming through that mostly didn't pass, but some did. But I saw kids there. I saw kids speaking out there and speaking against book banning. And most of the time, those kids are smarter than anybody in those rooms.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't surprise me. At all. And the legal fight, both at the state level and the federal level, the coalition building that's happening in Iowa is very interesting to me. The combination of folks that are, it's not just, a library or something. It's students and it's authors and it's publishers and it's unions. And I love the coalition, the legal coalition that's coming together there, both at the state and at the federal level. So I'm going to be very curious to see what happens there. Because unfortunately, I don't know if the Iowa state government's going to do what Minnesota just did, which was to pass legislation to ban book banning. No,
not with the current climate. Yeah. Maybe down the road, if people vote.
Yes, that's another. We've been telling everybody that we can, particularly at Pride here a couple weekends ago. First thing we say out of our mouths: register to vote and vote. It is so important.
We're doing some civics work here, and I think that's really cool. I just saw a thing about talking with your local government teachers and getting them to give extra credit to students, seniors who register to vote, and bring in their card and show it to them. I mean, a lot of, even when
an excellent place to leave it for right now. I apologize. We have to go for today, but everybody register to vote. Real quick, how do folks connect with you online or through social media?
Our social media is all at NLL Library, and our website is northlibertylibrary.org.
Well, thank you, Jennie and Andrew, for being, again, on The Gailey Show.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And that's our show for today. Our podcasts are executive produced by Jim Pounds, production support provided by Brett Johnson, marketing and advertising support provided by Chad Larson, Laura Headland, and Jennifer Ogren. Follow us on Instagram. We are at @the_Gailey Show. You can watch us anytime on our YouTube channel, stream our shows on your favorite podcast app, and visit us at thisqueerbook.com or am950radio.com. And until next Saturday, see you queers and allies in the bookstores.